Welcome to Impact. I'm Philip Morris, the arts interviewer. Our guest today is Dorothy Foster, also known as Teddy. In fact, probably better known as Teddy. And she is the president of the Universal Preservation Hall, a fabulous facility in Saratoga, and is a health coach. Health coach.
Yes,
So
I am.
what's a health coach?
Well, a health coach is a person that helps people with their issues, whether they need to lose weight or they have pain, want to get off medications. And that's what we do. We help them develop better habits of health and live a healthier life so they can live longer.
So do you have a spa? I mean...
No, I work out of my home. I work one-on-one with people. And initially, most of them want to lose weight first. And we get them losing weight, and then I get them exercising or becoming more active, and just teach them better ways to eat, like eating organically, staying away from processed foods, eating small meals 5 to 6 times a day, and it works.
So do you end up with an office, or are you doing most of this coaching remotely?
I do it remotely.
Yeah.
I usually, local people I meet with, meet them for coffee once a week or so, and then my other clients from around the country I do remotely through webinars or Skype. I do it online.
And how did you get into this?
Well, I worked for corporate America and was laid off 3 years ago and thought, well, what am I going to do now? So I had always been heavy all my life. I was over 200 pounds in high school and college. And my last job in corporate America was as an executive marketing coach for top producing insurance agents. So I put my two experiences together and decided to become a health coach. I was just passionate about it.
How much ends up being, do you feel like you're a psychologist for people?
A lot. Yeah, a lot. We have a lot of paradigms to bust through. And remember when we were little, you couldn't leave your plate until everything was finished. We ate 3 squares a day with a lot of fatty meats and stuff like that. At least I did. And so it's just a change and helping them make that change for the better.
And all kinds of ages, or mostly?
All kinds of ages. I work with some teens. I work with athletes. I work with triathletes who are trying to improve their times. They love it. Mostly it's people in, say, the 30 to 70 year range that every time they go to the doctor, their weight goes up a couple pounds, they're getting more medication diagnosed, and they don't want it. They want to live a cleaner, healthier life and live longer.
So the transition from corporate America to this one-woman show, big deal, hard, easy? How do you feel?
I feel fabulous. It's been really nice. I feel that I'm doing probably, other than raising my sons, the best work I've ever done in my life. Don't make a fraction of the money that I did in corporate America, but it's okay. I'm home, I'm connected to my community, I have wonderful friends and a loving family. I'm really in my happy place.
Well, you are connected to the community. I know this because we've been working together a little bit around Universal Preservation Hall. So what got you interested in this old building, and what are you dreaming about it?
Well, I came into the building for the first time, I think in 2005 or 2006, and was given a tour, and it wasn't in as good a shape as it is today. But there was just something about it that it just seemed important to downtown Saratoga. And I've always been an executive level volunteer. And when I was working for the corporation that I did, I couldn't do my volunteer work because I worked all the time. So I decided it was time that I needed to get involved in something again. So I got on the board of Universal Preservation Hall and helped them raise money and help them get volunteers and do fundraisers and things like that. And then about 3.5 years ago, it coincided with when I got laid off from in the recession, but I was asked to be president of the organization, and I'm okay with that. I'm getting better and better with it because now I'm devoted to the building. I feel that the group that was in there first really stabilized it. They saved it from condemnation. It was condemned already. It was a week away from the wrecking ball, and I feel it's been my task to take it into the future and run it as a business so it can really become the asset to downtown Saratoga Springs that I already know it can be.
Now, very quickly, a lot of people aren't going to know what it is. It was an 1800s
Yeah,
Methodist church.
it was, UPH was built in 1871 as a Methodist church. And it was a really big deal back in the day because it was a speaker's hall, besides them going to services, but they had a lot of very famous people there, like Teddy Roosevelt spoke, William Howard Taft. I can't think of anybody else right now, but there's a list of like 6 or 8 dignitaries that spoke there. And then in the 70s, it was sold. The Methodists moved to the outskirts of Saratoga, and it was sold to a very small African American community called the Universal Baptist Church. And they have been part of it and lived in it until the turn of our century, 2000, when the building was really falling into disrepair, and they needed help to save this building. And that's when we had a group of people come together and formed a board with them. They also were part of it with us and did what we needed to do to raise the money to save this building from falling in.
And the building's about 5,000 square feet, more than that. It's,
Jeepers, I think it's
7,000, I think.
7,000 or 8,000 square feet.
Per floor, 2 floors plus a basement.
2 floors plus a basement and a huge attic that you could drive a tractor trailer through. It's so big.
And you're imagining what kind of things could be happening in this building?
I think there's so many wonderful things that could happen in this building that are truly community related. I think we have room for educational events, lectures, gatherings of people, whether it's a farmer's market or a flea market or a women's event. I'd love to see it. We've had lots of performances there. We've had opera, we've had modern dance, we've had Max Weinberg, we've had John Sebastian. We've had a musical, not in our Great Hall, but in our downstairs room for 16 shows. That was a really huge success last summer. So to me, the possibilities are endless for this building, and my vision for it is really to see it be the place in downtown Saratoga where people can come together for all kinds of reasons and really have a gathering spot.
Mm-hmm. Close to the downtown?
Oh, it's a half a block off Broadway. It's right downtown, easy access to all the restaurants. Starbucks a half a block away. There's a lot of, good shopping. It's safe, it's pedestrian friendly, easy walking, lots of parking. It's just a wonderful spot.
So what else do you do in your spare time, Teddy, beside UPH and coaching?
Well, I love to ride horses. Horses have been my passion all my life, and that's really what brought me to Saratoga, was the fact that I'm a horsewoman. So my horse died last year, so I don't have my own horse this year, but I've been fortunate enough to be catching rides with other people's horses. And I golf, badly, but I golf.
So when you say your horse died, naturally, a long
Yeah,
time
he was
horse?
28 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he had a good long go, and he's in the Horse Hall of Fame here in the Capital District. His name was Astro, and he's actually owned by a woman who lives in Saratoga, but I was his primary rider and caretaker for the last probably 4 or 5 years of his life, and he's fabulous. So,
Are you looking to establish a new relationship with a horse?
No, I don't think so. It's I'm interested in improving my golf game. Now I've moved on from that. I'm interested in being a better golfer.
Is that because the clubs don't die? I mean,
Yeah, you don't have to feed them. It's easier. There's no time commitment really unless
so
you make
what part
it.
of the golf game do you have to fix?
All of it, all of it. I don't have the time in my life to devote to golf. I think I could be okay. But I have a lot of other things I'm doing. So my friends are very patient. They let me go out with them. I'm learning from them. I've taken some lessons, and I think it's fun.
Now, I noticed that everybody seems to know you in Saratoga every time that I've visited with you, but I now understand why, because you're meeting all your clients at all the coffee shops.
Yeah.
So every place that serves coffee knows who you are, it must be.
Yeah, well, we won't even talk about the bartenders, but but I've lived there for 30 years, so I raised my sons there, so I know a lot of people, and we love it there. We feel very fortunate to live there.
Well, this is about impact. We're trying to capture you. What impact would you like to have in the next 10 years?
Oh, I know what I want to do in the next 10 years. I want to leave Saratoga a better place than when I arrived. And I think by working with Universal Preservation Hall, I'm on the right track. Already, I have two sons that are very invested in the community. They both work in the community. They left home, they came back, they're happy to be there. So I feel that's a major contribution. But also, I love Universal Preservation Hall. I think it's going to be great for downtown. It's going to bring a real cultural center to our downtown. And that's what I want to be my legacy. I want that to happen. And as you know me very shortly, you've only known me a short time, but I'm doing everything I can to make that happen.
Yeah, I can tell. Now, one of your sons is a chef.
Yes, he is.
So do you want to do a little ad as we close
Oh my
up?
God, yeah. My son Brian is a 5-star trained chef, and he's now working at a restaurant in Ballston Spa called 51 Front. And it's a little bistro. The food is spectacular. They've only been open about 2.5 months. He and his friend Joe are the two cooks, and Joe's wife Elena runs the rest, the front of the house. It's fabulous. It's not just because of my kid, it's good food.
Thank you for being with us, Teddy.
Thank you for having me.
We're with Teddy Foster, the president of Universal Preservation Hall. I'm Philip Morris. Thank you for joining us at Impact. Proctors, bringing the best in arts, education, and entertainment.